Welcome to Uganda's mesmerizing world. Its stunning landscapes and spectacular secrets will blow your mind. But are you ready for the unexpected? Uganda has some of the most astonishing cultural practices in Africa. Imagine a place where a groom's virginity is tested, a tradition as shocking as it is true. This is just one of the 17 jaw-dropping secrets we're about to explore. Join us to uncover these astonishing mysteries that will amaze you. Groom's virginity tested. In the heart of Uganda, among certain tribes, lies an ancient and controversial ritual known as kukyala, which tests a groom's virginity. On his wedding day, the groom must prove his purity and suitability for his bride through this unique ceremony. The process involves the groom placing his fingers into a pot of milk. If the milk curdles, it's believed he is not a virgin. This practice not only challenges our understanding of gender roles, but also sparks a broader conversation on equality and cultural significance. While some defend the ritual as a cornerstone of promoting marital fidelity and community integrity, others criticize it as an antiquated and intrusive practice that perpetuates detrimental gender norms. The persistence of kukyala highlights its deep-rooted importance in Ugandan culture, resonating far beyond the couple to touch the very fabric of community life. Yet, as Uganda strides towards modernization and global integration, this tradition is increasingly contested, stirring vital discussions about cultural preservation, human rights, and the delicate interplay between tradition and progress. As we delve deeper into Uganda's cultural fabric, let's explore another startling tradition. 2. Female genital elongation. In specific Ugandan communities, a cultural practice called labia stretching is carried out, believed to enhance beauty, increase attractiveness, and promote marital satisfaction. Often seen as a rite of passage, this procedure involves the elongation of genitalia using various methods, including herbal applications and manual techniques. Some celebrate this tradition as a vital expression of cultural heritage and a form of female empowerment, symbolizing a deep connection to traditional values and the complexities of womanhood. However, this practice also stirs significant controversy. Critics argue that it perpetuates patriarchal views and imposes substantial physical and psychological risks. The ongoing debate over labia stretching is emblematic of broader tensions between preserving cultural practices and advancing contemporary human rights standards. While advocates view it as a potent symbol of female solidarity, detractors condemn it as a coercive form of gender-based violence that undermines a woman's right to bodily autonomy. As Uganda evolves, the dialogue surrounding this practice reflects its changing social landscape, probing the definitions of empowerment and cultural identity in a modern context. 3. Natural wonders. Murchison Falls. Discover Murchison Falls, where the mighty Nile squeezes through a narrow gorge only 7 meters wide, creating a breathtaking natural spectacle. This powerful cascade is the centerpiece of Murchison Falls National Park, Uganda's premier destination for ecotourism and wildlife observation. The park serves as a sanctuary for diverse species, including elephants, lions, and chimpanzees, making it a must-visit for nature enthusiasts and adventure seekers alike. More than just a stunning visual wonder, Murchison Falls is pivotal in conservation efforts that highlight Uganda's commitment to preserving its rich natural heritage. The park offers a variety of activities that allow visitors to immerse themselves in its tranquil beauty and learn about the region's rich ecological diversity. From hiking trails that meander through lush landscapes to boat tours on the Nile that bring you up close with unique wildlife, and birdwatching adventures that showcase an impressive array of avian species, each activity is designed to deepen visitors' connection with nature. As a symbol of Uganda's geological marvels and a beacon of the African wilderness's enduring allure, Murchison Falls exemplifies the critical importance of sustainable tourism practices. These practices protect the natural environment and support local communities, ensuring that Uganda's natural treasures continue to thrive and inspire visitors for generations to come. The ancient kingdom of Buganda. In the heart of Uganda lies the storied kingdom of Buganda, a beacon of cultural and political influence since its inception in the 14th century. As one of the most formidable kingdoms in East Africa, Buganda's expansive trade networks once reached the distant shores of the Indian Ocean. Today, the legacy of this ancient civilization is palpable through its architectural marvels, cherished artifacts, and vibrant cultural traditions that continue to thrive. Vital historical sites like the Kasubi tombs, recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and the grandeur of the Lubiri Palace, offer glimpses into the kingdom's rich past and architectural prowess. Buganda's narrative is tightly woven with the threads of Uganda's colonial history, epitomizing a crucial resistance against British dominion and significantly molding the nation's quest for sovereignty. Presently, the enduring cultural heritage of Buganda profoundly shapes Ugandan identity, echoing through the arts, music, and dance of its people. Exploring the depths of this ancient kingdom not only enriches our understanding of history, but also illuminates the enduring impact of cultural legacies on today's Ugandan society. 5. The Uganda-Rwanda border mystery. On the edges of Uganda and Rwanda lies a region steeped in mystery and historical intrigue, the Kagera River. This area, rumored to house the remnants of the ancient Kagera kingdom, is a testament to a possibly forgotten civilization that might have once flourished with sophistication and complexity. Archaeologists and historians are drawn to this border, where ongoing excavations reveal artifacts and structural remains that hint at advanced agricultural techniques and a rich societal structure. These discoveries are not merely academic. They weave a narrative of interconnected histories and shared cultural legacies among the East African communities. The ongoing research into the Kagera Kingdom's past fills in gaps in Uganda's historical tapestry and underscores the region's collective heritage. As we piece together these ancient connections, we highlight the importance of unity and cooperation across national borders today, emphasizing a shared history that could foster stronger regional ties. As we delve into the compelling layers of Uganda's past and present, we also focus on the critical contemporary issues facing the nation today. 6. Child marriage. Despite the richness of its cultural heritage and the breathtaking beauty, Uganda is facing massive social challenges. Among them, child marriage. The latest statistics show that 34% of girls in Uganda get married before attaining 18 years, while 1 in 5 girls get pregnant at or before that age. The trend is worrying and, indeed, stems from a cocktail of entrenched poverty, harmful cultural norms, and a lack of access to education. Efforts at curbing child marriage concentrate mainly on empowerment of girls through education and economic empowerment. Organizations have launched awareness programs in the community targeting attitude and behavioral change of child marriage. Vocational training and microfinance schemes give girls other options toward financial independence and motivate them to stay longer in school, building brighter futures for themselves. The Ugandan government has had a number of policies geared towards the elimination of child marriage, but much has to be done to shatter the complexities in the structures of society that facilitate the act. Beyond the challenges of child marriage, Uganda's storied history whispers secrets of ancient kingdoms whose mysterious legacy awaits discovery. 7. Kagera Kingdom. Mystery, uncovering the past. As we peel back the layers of Uganda's rich history, the enigmatic Kagera Kingdom emerges from the shadows of the Uganda-Rwanda border. This kingdom, believed to have once thrived along the banks of the Kagera River, is a focal point for archaeologists who uncover artifacts that suggest a highly developed civilization once existed here. The discoveries reveal sophisticated economic systems, social organizations, and cultural exchanges that paint a picture of a far more advanced society than previously recognized. The investigation into the Kagera Kingdom enlightens us about Uganda's forgotten history and underscores the interconnected histories of East African societies. These findings challenge our understanding of the region's past, highlighting the complexity of historical narratives that shape present-day cultural and social dynamics. From the ancient mysteries of the Kagera Kingdom, we shift our focus to a darker chapter in Uganda's history, uncovering the hidden truths where the ghosts of the past continue to haunt the nation. 8. Secret Graves of Idi Amin. The regime of Idi Amin was between 1971 and 1979. This era is probably one of the most brutal and oppressive ever known in Uganda. His reign is estimated to have cost the lives of between 100,000 and 500,000 Ugandans. It is one of the most depressing stats, marking one of the bleakest chapters in Uganda's history. This legacy remains overshadowed by the long shadow of violence and tyranny that has left mass graves scattered throughout the landscape. Recently, the search and excavation of these secret graves have been intensified, an activity that has been both urgent and complex. The more mass graves are discovered, the more important it becomes to identify the victims and bring closure to the families of the dead. This process not only allows families to mourn their loved ones properly, but also acts as a vital step in confronting Uganda's past. The search for truth and accountability in the form of historical remembrance has proven to be a powerful tool for healing and reconciliation. The emotional and psychological toll of these events on Ugandan society lies beyond the physical excavation of graves. The stories of the victims, the recovered artifacts, and the testimonies of the survivors are part of the collective memory of Uganda. Acknowledging this dark history is essential to not repeating the same atrocities again in the future. This is a reminder of how historical documentation and education help ensure that the lessons of Amin's rule will not be forgotten but be transformed into a warning to future generations. From the shadows of Uganda's tumultuous past, it's time to venture into the heart of its breathtaking natural beauty. 9. Mountain gorilla habitat. Compared to the atrocities in the past, Uganda also has a rich biodiversity, specifically home to over 1,000 endangered mountain gorillas. The conservation of such magnificent creatures is pressing, not only for Uganda, but for global biology and ecology. There are a variety of conservation efforts intended to protect their habitats from encroachment and climate change, poaching, and deforestation. Tourism does an excellent job to fund such conservation work. Guided treks into the national parks offer visitors a chance of seeing these amazing creatures up close in their habitats. This tourism does boost the local economy, and by so doing creates awareness over the need for conserving biodiversity. Also, habits programs are quite important that help gorillas to adjust to human existence so researches can take place as well as tourism. As the illegal wildlife trade threatens many species, the mountain gorillas are an epitome of successful conservation efforts. Their story is an epitome of successful community engagement strategies, where local populations are empowered to take an active role in conservation. Protection of mountain gorillas, therefore, becomes a symbol of hope and healing amidst Uganda's tumultuous past. 10. Lake Victoria's mysterious depths. Lake Victoria remains that mysterious body that was left unexplored as far as the depth and the underwater topography of Africa's largest lake was concerned. Science has been going further to unveil the secrets hidden at the bottom, placing much importance on quite considerable ecological and geological aspects. These explorations have unearthed underwater volcanoes and thermal vents, plus diversified aquatic life. Such discoveries for the lake are important, not only for Uganda, but for the entire region ecological fabric, millions of people subsisting on it, for both nutritional and livelihood purposes. Its depths must be continued further to reveal more about impacts of pollution and climatic change on one of the most vital resources for this continent. Scientists believe that through knowledge of the lake's various physical and biological features, they will create conservation mechanisms that ensure it is properly preserved in all its aspects. They believe long-term ecological study will go a long way in establishing what impacts this water body undergoes mainly from human activity and effects of climate changes. From the depths of Africa's largest lake, we shift our focus to a darker reality. 11. Child sacrifice. Child sacrifice for ritual purposes is dark practice, still casting a thick cloud over Uganda. Some perpetrators still believe that human sacrifice will bring them wealth, power, or good fortune, notions that perpetuate unimaginable suffering and tragedy for innocent families. Reports of child sacrifice have shocked communities and incited national and international outrage. Such acts result not only in the untimely deaths of vulnerable children, but also in undeniable psychological scars on the families and communities, further fueling fears and anxiety that resonate through society. This cruel tradition, though based on superstitious practice, still shows broader social issues. Poverty, illiteracy, and social dislocation push desperate individuals into indulging in such nefarious activities in a desperate quest to stop their suffering or to exert some control over their life. Thus, the response to child sacrifice has to be sought by delving into the socio-economic scenario that makes the belief relevant. Governments and NGOs have to take an all-inclusive approach that denounces the acts, but at the same time tries to find out what drives these people to these horrific actions. Efforts to end this horrific practice focus on educating the community and raising awareness while strengthening the law. Different organizations work hard in breaking the networks that lead to such rituals and trying to protect children from those who exploit them. It involves local leaders, influencers, and community members who become a change agent in the fight. They are a source of influence and help alter cultural perceptions of child sacrifice and myth-busting, and establishing a culture that values the lives of all children. Eradication of this evil practice will only be accomplished if everyone rises to the occasion and takes on the mantle of advocacy and protection of the most vulnerable among us, our children. So then there must be an issue more crucial than one of simple law, yet one surely deeply rooted in human rights. Defending life's dignity amid the darkness of belief and desperation calls for a cause to be championed most appropriately. Each child ought to live in a better world. 12. Witchcraft and sorcery. There is a widespread belief in witchcraft and sorcery affecting social life in Uganda in many significant ways, as those labeled have faced horrors such as violence, banishment, and imprisonment. Such witch hunts are not only acts of social justice, but also expose the fear that has gained momentum in the communities. Fear of the unknown, fear of jealousy, and loss of control. Such a form of witch hunting does not only endanger the accused, but also damages the community's cohesion and trust. Such a cycle of suspicion breeds further violence, which may eventually destroy relationships. The implications of accusations involving witchcraft can often prove deadly, especially to easily targeted populations. Women, children, and the aged seem disproportionately impacted by the phenomenon. Women accused of such acts are often subject to short-term physical violence, as well as long-term social or economic disadvantages in their respective communities. Children also get victimized through accusations at times when they lose everything, such as their household or denied necessities because the family has been stigmatized. It takes a toll on the accused and on the accusers. Trauma and anxiety remain long after an accusation has been forgotten. There are, in fact, many organizations educating communities about dangers and fallacies of witch hunting. The initiatives developed by non-governmental organizations, public health agencies, and community leaders emphasize critical thinking and the nurturing of a culture that accepts diversity and tolerance. Most of these educational interventions are based on community dialogues, storytelling, and workshops that contextualize traditional beliefs while giving rational and safe alternatives. Hope would thus be to reduce the spreading of hurtful accusations and violent actions fueled by deep-seated fears. Local leaders also ought to be involved in any such programs. Traditional or customary leaders, religious figures, and influential members of a local community carry a lot of influence on what beliefs may be formed and how that will play out within any given community. These leaders, equipped with skills in countering stereotypical perceptions and accusatory approaches, can be reinforced with improved ways of interacting in community and even with better means of resolving conflict. 13. LGBTQ plus persecution in Uganda. In Uganda, the legal environment is markedly hostile toward the LGBTQ plus community. Homosexuality is not only strictly prohibited, but also punished, leading to widespread discrimination and often brutal violence against those identified as LGBTQ plus. This harsh reality does not just attract national concern, it has also sparked significant international pressure. Organizations around the world dedicated to human rights tirelessly advocate for the equality, protection, and justice of LGBTQ plus individuals. The resistance to these draconian laws and deeply entrenched cultural beliefs is formidable. Despite the challenges, activists are committed to transforming Uganda into a safer place where LGBTQ plus individuals can openly express their identities without fear of harassment or violence. These efforts to promote safety and acceptance are continually met with stiff opposition, entangled in a complex web of traditional values, cultural norms, and the push for modern human rights. As we delve deeper into the societal challenges faced by Uganda, we transition from the struggles of the LGBTQ plus community to the intricate and often shadowy dynamics of Ugandan politics. 14. Election rigging and corruption. Election rigging and corruption have haunted Uganda's political landscape for years. Reports from the opposition parties and international observers have raised serious concerns over the integrity of electoral processes. Such skepticism is compounded by historical patterns of authoritarianism and the concentration of power within a limited political sphere. The quest to address election irregularities is multifaceted, involving voter education, international observer missions, and calls for electoral reform. This is important for democracy and for the realization of citizens' trust in their government. As the curtains draw open on Uganda's electoral stage, a subtle yet sinister presence lurks in the shadows. 15. State surveillance in Uganda. In Uganda today, allegations of state-run spying on citizens and political adversaries dominate the headlines, underscoring serious concerns about privacy, free speech, and civil liberties. State surveillance challenges the very essence of democratic governance, fostering an atmosphere of fear and tightening authoritarian control. Rather than merely infringing on privacy, this pervasive surveillance instills a sense of perpetual scrutiny among the public, leading to self-censorship and stifling open dialogue. The landscape of surveillance is evolving rapidly, propelled by technological advances that enable more covert and comprehensive tracking and monitoring of individuals. This often involves invasive techniques such as data collection and facial recognition, eroding privacy at an alarming rate. In countries like Uganda, where democratic institutions are fragile, these practices can have catastrophic effects, crushing dissent and stifling reform. The battle for democracy in Uganda is intrinsically linked to the struggle against invasive surveillance. Advocacy groups, civil society organizations, and proactive citizens are tirelessly working to raise awareness about the importance of privacy and the perils of unchecked government surveillance. They strive to foster a culture where accountability and transparency are paramount, ensuring that citizens can defend their rights and advocate for the preservation of personal freedoms. Discussions about privacy rights empower Ugandans to demand greater openness and accountability from their government. 16. Government corruption. Most levels of the government system in Uganda are corrupt enough to affect society, as well as hinder its development. International and local cases of major embezzlement scams involving high-level government officials brought Uganda's good name in tatters both internationally and locally. It does include far-reaching effects of things such as merely an economic loss, because it ends in cycles of poverty and inequalities, concurrently sapping from the masses public confidence and trust towards the institutions and governmental framework. Impact varies from field to field in education and health, as funds meant to deliver primary healthcare facilities or impart necessary education goes missing. At the same time, underdeveloped economies lose its key infrastructure without having that proper support delivered. Also, corruption often means a lack of investment in critical areas, since local and international investors become apprehensive about getting involved with a system plagued by dishonesty and unethical behavior. This apprehension further restrains economic growth and development, leading to stagnation that affects job creation and overall prosperity. In Uganda, there is a saying which states that young people are the future, yet opportunities are dwindling because they are not invested in because of a lack of resources. Combating corruption must be a pluralistic approach, consisting of stronger legal frameworks, open government functioning, and citizen activism. Therefore, laws enforcing the responsibility of individuals in improper activities must be established, with severe penalties acting as deterrents. 17. Oil reserves and the Chinese debt trap. The recent discovery of oil in Uganda has sparked a flurry of excitement and concern, primarily due to corruption allegations within the oil sector. Critics argue that the political elite is reaping substantial benefits from this newfound liquid gold, often at the cost of the broader community. This burgeoning issue underscores the urgent need for transparent and equitable management of natural resources, ensuring that the revenues generated are channeled towards broad public welfare rather than lining the pockets of a select few. Moreover, Uganda's growing financial indebtedness to China has raised alarms about the country's economic sovereignty. Critics fear that without careful management, Uganda might forfeit critical strategic assets to China, potentially compromising its autonomy and independence. These concerns highlight the complex challenges that lie at the intersection of resource wealth and international debt, posing significant dilemmas for Uganda's future. As Uganda stands at this crossroads, the need for responsible financial governance has never been more critical. The government must strive to balance economic growth driven by oil revenues with sustainable debt management practices that safeguard the nation's independence. By fostering a transparent environment where oil revenues contribute to the public good and debt agreements are made with national interests in mind, Uganda can harness its natural wealth to build a prosperous and self-sufficient future. This nuanced approach to managing oil wealth and foreign debt is crucial for maintaining national integrity and ensuring that Uganda's natural riches benefit all its citizens, not just a powerful few. As we continue to watch this situation unfold, it becomes clear that the choices made today will shape Uganda's trajectory for generations to come. That wraps our journey through Uganda, a land of stunning contrasts and hidden wonders. If you're intrigued by the rich tapestry of culture and nature we've explored today, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an adventure with us. Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.